Okay. Hi everyone. Good evening to you all. It's a good evening here in Uganda. I'm very, very glad to speak to you this very evening. I hope everybody can hear me. I'm so glad that I'm part of the trainers in this Africa Digital Skills Conference, the 2024 chapter. That's how I can call it. My session is going to be very, very brief. So I'm kindly asking that whoever is listening, we should now try to give each other attention so that we can maybe get something out of this presentation of mine. So my name is Julius Michael Tumwebaze. As you can see, I'm a Ugandan, a young entrepreneur from Uganda, dealing in, yes, doing digital marketing here in Uganda, like that's what I specialize in. Then I'm also doing some other businesses in farming, where we are doing coffee farming here in Uganda. As you know, Uganda is the second coffee producer in Africa and the seventh in the whole world. So I'm also in that business, but here we are going to discuss digital marketing. As you notice, it is a digital skills conference. My prayer is whoever is here will get something by the end of this presentation, and you'll gain a lot. So I hope everyone here, at least you've ever seen an ad anywhere and you stopped scrolling and clicked it. That has happened to many of us. Maybe it was a sneaker drop, a new phone, or even an offer for something you didn't know you wanted until that moment. I know maybe all of us have ever experienced that. So let me tell you something here. That wasn't by accident. It wasn't. And that's why this evening, we want to discuss about the digital marketing psychology that you didn't know. You know, everything in this world, I'm one of those people that believe that everything in this world runs on psychology. Psychology drives politicians, it drives doctors, it drives teachers, it drives almost every field. And yes, without psychology, how could you lead? Where would someone be a leader without employing psychology in that field, and then he or she succeeds? So yes, even digital marketing, there is actually more psychology than actually anywhere. So digital marketing psychology, what's that? What's digital marketing psychology? So digital marketing psychology, it's a secret, those are secret mental shortcuts that make us act in a certain way online. And once you know them, you will see the online world differently. You will see the online world differently. So let's go. So there are key triggers in digital marketing. Key triggers that when you want to notice that there is psychology, or when you want now to put in psychology within your digital marketing strategy. They are the key triggers, and let's go through them briefly. One is social proof. And this is, if they like it, I like it too. So this is when we follow the crowd. This is when all of us follow the crowd. I'm sure some of you have ever seen a post go viral and suddenly maybe everyone you know is on it. So social proof works because we trust what other people like. Now, for example, if maybe one of your socialites in your country, whoever is listening, in your country, maybe one of your socialites can post, maybe she's a lady, and then she posts a very good hairstyle, that, wow, this is my new hairstyle, that so and so salon made it. You'll find out that the next day that salon is full and people are rushing to go there to also get that same fashion that they saw their socialite post on maybe their socials or social handles. So that's how social proof works. People want to trust what other people like. Like, they don't want to feel dumb. They want to do what others are doing. Number two is FOMO. FOMO is fear of missing out. It's a short term of fear of missing out. And that is very common within young people. Yes, it's within also the old and middle-aged, but more so in us, the young people. So whether it's that limited time offer from Jumia, I hope you know Jumia. Jumia is this local online market. We have it here in Uganda, and it's one of the best online shops. Yes, others are following, but it is the best. I don't know, maybe some of you have ever heard of it or even are using it. Or when even Nike drops those exclusive sneakers at midnight. Fear of missing out taps into your fear that you might miss something valuable. And then what do? You click, because what if they are gone tomorrow? That's what comes to your mind. That maybe I need to hurry up. You know, when Apple now releases new iPhone, they announce that we have this and this number. I heard Huawei was unveiling a new fold, 6-fold what? I can't remember very well. But I had the limited pieces they had, and they were asking that, please, if you don't rush, these pieces are getting over. So everybody will now want to experience that, to be the one not left out, to be the one in, you get it? So that's one of the psychology that at some of the marketing departments or the marketing, the digital marketing teams normally use to trap our minds. I hope if you didn't know now, you know it. There is what we call There's what we call reciprocity. Reciprocity. You scratch my back, I scratch yours. As you can see, this is when brands give you something for free and you feel like returning that favor. Think of telecom companies giving you free WhatsApp bundles for a week. What happens? What happens? Definitely, you use that company more and you tell your friends. Isn't that psychological? Did you know it? So they are giving you, and yes, you are giving back. So there is this number 4 that is scarcity. Scarcity, before I explain this, I will ask my listeners, all the viewers of this session, to find out a book that is called 100 Million Offer. the Grand Slam offer. I've forgotten the name of the author of that book, but it is called 100 million offer, the Grand Slam offer. So you should check out that book and read it. If I think whoever is here now is interested in digital marketing, and if you want to know more about how scarcity works specifically, you will learn more about it. But here, let's talk about it briefly. So you've heard of there are only left 5. I hope that sounds familiar. You've heard of those people, oh, 10 left or 10 days left, those selling tickets. So whether it's limited time fashion drops or concerts, selling the last few tickets, scarcity triggers our survival instincts. So we want what we think is rare, you know, even if it's just a coffee mug. Now for me, who is a coffee farmer here, internationally, look at Supreme, they thrive on scarcity, marketing, and you people globally fall for every time. You will actually, including me, will fall for it every time. Scarcity, there is few things, and then that's the psychology they use on us. In real sense, it is not, the products are not scarce, but they are creating it so that you rush to grab them. That's the psychology. I hope you know that. If you didn't know, at least I'm sure now you've gotten to know it. So those are the 4 triggers that I wanted to share with you. But hey, we need to know the African context. This is the African Digital Skills Conference. So we might discuss it, and maybe someone there is now thinking, now these are Bazungus. Now for us, those other continents, we call them Bazungus here in Uganda. They are whites. But this is now the African thing. We need to know what is happening locally in Africa. Is that psychology even applied? Is it applicable locally here? Are people really experiencing it? We need to bring now the point home. How are we seeing these psychological triggers play out here at our home in Africa? But dwell more in Uganda because that's where I stay. But I think you can relate with whatever company you could have mentioned that maybe you also have there in your country. I hope most of the countries you have in Uganda, you do have them even there. Yeah. So so there is now the locally here now. There, I told you the company called Jumia. There is a company now called Jumia. It has flash sales, and also it has the Black Friday, but it is mostly known for its. It has been now mostly known for its Black Fridays. So they use the other formula I take you, the other trigger I told you of, called FOMO, fear of missing out. So how do they do it? Now, after bringing this Black Friday, that these things now are on a very big discount, and yes, you should rush and pick them because they are very few. So everybody will feel, no, I have to purchase a new phone. And why should I now purchase anywhere at a very high price? Yet my friends are now purchasing on Jumia the same phone at a very low rate. Did you hear that? Someone is fearing to be left out, and then he's choosing this offer. Maybe others have it. But since they didn't put it into the digital space, somebody didn't notice, maybe a prospect didn't notice that these guys had something. So since everybody's rushing, they create that kind of attention, and then everybody will be rushing to get it. You understand? So even if they are using their flash sales, their 50% off flash sales, it will create urgency, and they time it perfectly so young people, like, young people rush to get in before time runs out. And another example, what is another example would I give you? Yeah, in African context, I would also give you this other example, the mobile telecoms. I had mentioned them before. I hope you also have some mobile telecoms that actually have just bought data now to view or listen to this, that I'm sure. And for us here, the big giants we have are MTN and Airtel. Those are the biggest giants we have locally here in Uganda. So these guys are not just selling us data, they're selling us freedom. And I hope you know that. This freedom you've gotten to go on TikTok and scream and see what they're doing, that freedom is what they are selling us. So they know the more they make you feel like you are getting something extra, the more you'll stick with them. Some free bundles. And that's a kind of social proof, the one I mentioned. Something they are giving you, something you think it is free. And they're playing on your psychology, to be specific. The third example I could give here in the African context is influencers. The new social proof now, it is the old and now the new. So you see young influencers, from fashionists, they call them fashionistas, to tech reviewers. They will be telling you what's cool and what's not. And in a way you can't even notice, because even these tweets or even the posts they post on their social handles, maybe on X or Instagram or Facebook, those posts, in most of the cases, there is a team that sits down and drafts them and then forwards them to those people. So they just post them as they are. So for you, tricked thinking maybe my favorite guy, my tweet, my guy on Instagram, maybe my celeb or my role model has now said about this, maybe I should also fall soon. Maybe his suggestion is the best. Oh, he's fighting this product, I shouldn't use it again. Oh my, he's been affected by this kind of, maybe kind of a service from this company, and it seems I shouldn't need it also. And that's what people are using even here in Africa through digital marketing, and you are trapped through it. And you can also trap other people through it. I hope we are clear there. Are we together, people? Hello? Hello? My good people, are we together? I want to hear from you.
Yes, we are together.
Wonderful. Wonderful. So, maybe let me give, I noted something here. I should give it to you, please. Maybe let me give an international example that is beyond Uganda in particular, but Africa in general. Because globally, brands are nailing it with these tactics. I know all of you have heard of Nike. And actually, some of you just dream of putting on a product from Nike. So Nike has mastered the art of scarcity. I hear it has not even reached some of the countries in Africa, some products of Nike. That's what I gather. So you can think about their sneaker drops. People literally line up digitally and physically just to grab the latest limited edition kicks. You can use this formula. This is the formula they use. The formula is the other one I told you up. That means they are using a formula. Now for you from this session, you should now learn how to differentiate these things and how even to notice that this is what they are using. And maybe you should learn how to use it also. They are using the fear of missing out plus scarcity. And so they are triggering your emotions. Hence, you purchasing, you're making the order and they're making the money. Should I now mention about Netflix? Have you ever noticed how Netflix judges you into how it nudges you into binge working? Just only 2 episodes left. They make you feel like you're missing out on the cultural conversation if you don't keep watching. You understand? So that's the power of creating psychological hooks. And yes, even if you are a young entrepreneur or a startup, you also need to copy these bigger companies because what they are doing, they've learned it through ages. They've experienced a lot. Don't try to bring new things into the market. Yes, it is okay to be innovative. But innovation doesn't necessarily mean that you should bring something that is exclusively new. Something can be there and just you bring it in a different style. And that's what I think innovation is. So please, don't be tempted, my fellow young entrepreneurs. I love young entrepreneurs because I'm one of them. I'm their president here in Uganda. So don't be tempted to think that maybe you want to bring something new, but you can now start looking at this. With this information I've given you, you can now know how these bigger companies are employing psychology into digital marketing and how they are now using it to make more sales. And ask yourself, can't I now employ this to my startup, to my thriving business? Can't it work for me? And I think, yes, it will work for you definitely. So we're asking ourselves, why should you care about all this? Why should you care about all this? The answer is very, very, very simple. Because you are the future marketeers. You are the future marketeers. You are the future entrepreneurs. You are the future innovators. Okay, I know you've started on the journey maybe, but the future awaits you is very big. The journey ahead is too big. And that's why, yes, even as young people, even as young entrepreneurs need to be concerned by this matter of digital marketing. And why not? Because even that's where we're heading. Do you expect any other local means to still thrive for the next 20 years? I guess no. So we should now be fully immersed into the art, the psychology of digital marketing. We should know when they are using it on us and know how they're doing it without even asking them, and then employ it into our businesses, into our lives, into our jobs, our employments in general. So whether you're building a business or launching a product, or just trying to stand out on social media, understanding how the mind works is your superpower. So the next time you're launching your online store, think about social proof. When you are running a campaign, remember that fear of missing out works. FOMO, fear of missing out works. And if you've excuse me, and if you've got limited stock, don't hide that. Shout it from the rooftops. Tell them, please, I have this, but it is limited. Anytime it's getting over, It's very scarce. Please rush and get it. In few days, even if they buy it, even if nobody makes an order, please use psychology. Show that, yes, I'm now left. Yesterday I was with 10 pieces. I'm now left with 3 or 5. Be decreasing the number. They will definitely come. They're not in the one place that they are saying, hey, we are 5 here and we've went, maybe the products are now over. They are coming from various areas and they will still come. You can even sell to 100 customers. Yet you just announced you need just 2 or 3 or 5 or even 20. Use psychology. That's not lying. That's just that psychology that these people are now employing on us, and we should run it. If you didn't know, you have to know today. So we need now, as we wind up, we need, how can you start applying these tactics? We need to know, how can you, my viewer today, my listener, how can you start applying these tactics? How can you make these tactics work for you? We need to keep it simple. Let's keep it. I thought I should keep it simple so that, because time and see is running out. I'm running out of time. Number one, you want to get, are we together? So my network is getting off. Are we together? Oh, great. So maybe if you want to get the young people in your area, or you're targeting the old people, if you're targeting women, if you're targeting any kind of people you're targeting, you should notice what they are. For instance, you're targeting young people. You should actually be knowing that the young people are mobile first. If you want to get them, focus on mobile friendly campaigns. Know their behaviors and adapt. Adapt to them. Because that's what the audience is asking. Don't be too happening. So please, if you want now to know how to go about this, how to employ this in your life, in your business, you should know your audience. Number one. Number two, create a sense of urgency. Those are limited time offers, pre-order deals. Even creating hype around events can get young people engaged. Someone here might be an event organizer. I love it when I've seen very many young Africans are now running to businesses that were owned by big rich people, and they are running through them. You can't notice even whether they are rich or not, but they are now even trying to cover the gap because the other people were now bidding highly, and some people couldn't offer those services from the rich guys. So young people are now trying to sneak through to see how they can also grab that opportunities for these people that couldn't afford the other services for young people, the bills for rich people. Please create that sense of urgency. You will love the results. Number three, and the last, The last, use influencers wisely. Now people are rushing to pay influencers to help them push their brand, help them push their event, help them push their, push their product or services. But please do it. Be intentional while you're choosing these people. Don't just trash. Don't just follow who has the biggest following, who has the biggest engagement. I've seen so and so, every post he or she makes gets an engagement of, let's say, 500,000. The reviews are very high. No, don't focus on that. Focus on who that influencer is, what his or her audience is. You have to know his or her audience. You need to know his personal brand. How do those people that follow him perceive him? You can now force someone, maybe someone is already, okay, I won't give that example, but I think you get it. I really think you get it. I really think you got it. I really think you got it. So here we get to the end of this session. We get to the end of this session. So these are my final thoughts. These are my final thoughts. Don't laugh, please. I didn't give you that example intentionally because maybe it could, since we are speaking with the whole of Africa or even the entire world, some examples you leave them out. But I could maybe give an example of your star and you get offended. So I'm sorry for that. At the end of the day, digital marketing psychology isn't about tricking people. It's about connecting with them. It's about understanding human nature and using that knowledge to offer value in a way that's relatable and memorable. I repeat, at the end of the day, digital marketing psychology isn't just about tricking people. It's about connecting with them. It's about understanding human nature and using that knowledge to offer value in a way that's relatable and memorable. I really want to think that you've gotten something. And yes, if you've gotten it, please go out there, create content that sticks, campaigns that pop, and connections that last. Thank you for your time. And remember, the next campaign, ad, or any marketing strategy you notice or that you will see, you know exactly what's happening behind the scenes. I'm glad that you remember that Julius Michael Tumwebaze, a Ugandan young entrepreneur, once told you about the digital marketing psychology that you didn't know or you had not given your attention, maybe. Thank you so much for your time, people. I'm Julius Michael Tumwebaze from Uganda, Julius Systems Company and Julius Coffee Works Limited. Thank you so much, people, for being here, for listening to me. Thank you, the organizers of this event. You people deserve a very mighty round of applause. You're very good people. Africa Digital Skills, the mobile web Ghana people, you people, you're very good. I really follow your works and what you're doing is really amazing. Would love actually to have you even here in Uganda if you wish to. You can spare some time physical and come and yes, we connect because the world needs you and that's where we're heading. Thank you for sparing your time, your knowledge to support young Africans, young people to know that they also get to know about yes, what is in the digital space for free. For free. Thank you so much. If there is anybody with a question, I would love it. If there isn't, I would love to say thank you and goodbye. Over to you.
Thank you very much, Julius from Uganda. We'll definitely remember that you taught us the psychologies behind digital marketing. I don't think anybody that has actually participated in this session would forget what you've actually taught us because it's been very, very insightful. At this point, if you have any question, please go ahead and put it in the chat whilst we answer some sessions in here. So Yao Amedo is asking, how do you audit influencers for such info? Hello, Julius.
Hello.
Yes, there's a question here for you.
Yes, please.
Someone is asking, how do you audit influencers for such information?
How do you do what?
How do you audit influencers for such information? If
How do you audit?
digital psychology is, yes.
Yes. How do you audit? Isn't it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So that's, I think if you've been following, I've now been stressing that psychologically, when you are talking about psychology, we are also using psychology to teach psychology. That's very funny, but true. So the way you know that you audit that, yes, this campaign is working or it is not, whether it is now touching people's minds or it isn't, I would really want to read my final thought again. Then I will give a small additional point. Let me read it again. And please, if you ask this question, listen carefully. I said, at the end of the day, digital marketing psychology isn't about tricking people. It's about connecting with them. It's about understanding human nature and using that knowledge to offer value in a way that's relatable and memorable. So if you ask how to audit, since here in digital marketing, we are not dealing just with robots, we are dealing with real humans. I really think that even if you have a product, you're selling it to, you're now trying to sell it to people, and those, how do you know that it is the trick or your tactic is now working? Is through the orders you're getting, is through the questions you're getting from clients, is through the reviews you are seeing online. And it is very, very obvious. I don't know that I should mention this. It is very obvious that if you're not seeing any turn up, no message, no email, no order, nothing, that means that it isn't working. You should change as soon as yesterday. I hope I've answered you, sir.
Yes, so we have another question also from the same person. He's asking, if digital psychology is not about tracking, why do you have other stocks and why do you have overstocks and say we have limited stocks?
Sorry?
Yes, so let me read the question again. So he's
Yes.
asking, if digital psychology is not about tracking, why do you have overstocks and say we have limited stocks?
Hey, why do you have overstock and say you have limited stock?
You have limited stocks, yeah.
Okay. Okay, now this is what we say. In psychology, we don't say we are tricking anybody. Okay? In psychology, we don't trick. In psychology, we know how the brain works. Are we together? Psychologists learn Okay, if you find any psychologist, that is a person that has learned how the brain works. And you'll find out that most of the counselors are mostly senior psychologists. They've studied psychology to the fullest. And what have they studied? It's not just to lie you that, yes, please, I know you lost your wife, I know you lost your mother, but man or woman, you can still catch up. The world is still fair for you. There is still a lot for you. No, please. What they have been trained at is they know how your brain works at your low and at your up. So in psychology, we don't say you're tricking anybody, because now if you start tricking, you'll end up now tricking even yourself. But if you're now trying to understand how do these people reason, what do they love? What do they follow most? Do they like my product? Yes. Is there any other supplier of this product? Yes. Is he getting as much orders as I could wish to get? Yes. Why aren't they buying from me? The other person has employed this and this tactic. So now you run to my session here, maybe sometime. You say, let me listen to this man again. He said that, yes, digital marketing don't have to trick, but we have to connect with the minds. So I have to study the mind of my prospect, the mind of that person that I target to sell my product to. After studying that mind, you will know that, yeah, okay, this is what he loves. You have everything on paper. You have everything on your fingertips. You know who your client is. You know, here they shout out, here they will quarrel that, please, this is not what we expected. So you don't just have to treat them. You just have to connect to set that tactic that triggers their mind. I don't know whether I'm using too much of grammar, because I don't even use much of English, but I think I've tried to answer that person.
Okay, so we have another question. So somebody is asking, what psychological principles can enhance user engagement on social media platforms?
Please, you have very many echoes. I didn't hear you well.
Okay, so what psychological principles can enhance user engagement on social media platforms?
The psychological principle that enhances what?
User engagement on social media platforms.
Okay. So that question might be a bit long to answer, because then he's now actually tricking me. It's tricking me to now dive into specifically social media, which is part of the digital market or the digital space. But I think I can answer it generally. Generally, what triggers the engagement, what triggers the minds of people online, specifically on social medias, depends on what you are selling and who you are selling it to. So you'll find out that a company selling let's say, okay, let's mention that the telecom companies. You'll find out that telecom companies have almost general marketing, digital marketing strategies. They are general. They don't target specific people. When they have them, they will know that, please, for us as telecom companies, you have clients who are youth, young, old, women and men, educated and uneducated. So they will definitely do that. But when they have their specific products, for instance, the data, you'll find out that if these telecom companies are marketing their data, they are specifically targeting a certain group, specifically the young people, because it is we who are the most buyers of data. If you didn't know, we are very many number. We buy cheap data. Yes, I will mention that, but we are very many. So the economies of scale that works better with young people, because yeah, we are the most in numbers. So definitely, how do you know that, yeah, this system will work for me? I really suggest that if one now wants to go deeper into that question, number one, we might link up via maybe my WhatsApp. If you allow, I'll read it out. If not, you can start from today onwards following those bigger companies that are doing that very service. You must follow that company that is doing exactly where you want to go, that is doing better, that is actually in your dream of your business. Where you dream to go, that company is where it is. So follow those people, see how they do their like their targets online, how they do their campaigns, how they do their ads, and try to use psychology to know what they based on to use this woman in this ad. Why did they use a man? Why did they now use a child? Why didn't they use a youth? Why did they choose to use an old mosaic, an old personnel? Understand? Why didn't they use maybe a still strong man? You understand? You should ask those questions within your mind, because that's what they used psychology to do that. And you should also use psychology to internalize it and know, why did they do this? Seems I need to also do it the way they're doing it. And maybe sometimes better than they're doing it. Have I answered?
Yes, thank you very much, Julius. I think it will be best if you share your contact via the chat provided down below. So maybe provide your contact, your email address for us to reach out to you, or participants to reach out to you. And then there's also one more question in the chat as well. I would want you to check it out and then answer it. There's a question being asked. Peter is asking a question. It's in the chat below. Please check it.
In the chats. Way, I'm trying to find it.
Okay, so let me just read it for you. Peter is asking, does season matter in digital marketing?
Sorry?
First question, does season matter in digital marketing?
Peter is what is the question for Peter? You have some echoes in your voice. Does
season matter in digital marketing?
Seizing, I'm not getting the word really. I really wanted to read that message. What is season? Seizing. Season matter, isn't it? Sorry?
Yes.
The season matter in digital marketing.
Yes, that is it.
Okay. Oh, for us in Uganda, season, we call it season, not season. Okay. So, Peter, that's a very good question. So, the season matter in digital marketing, specifically, I would, with no doubt, in the seasonal matter in digital marketing, if that is your question, with no doubt, I would say that in general, the seasonal matter in digital marketing is one, and that is psychology. There might be others, maybe, that follow. But should I tell you what? Generally in marketing, psychology does it better. And those that have employed it are winning to the maximum. Those that have not are finding it very rough. And they've made losses, and later on, they learned that, yeah, we had to do it. But the best way to do it was to add in psychology. That's according to me. Is there any other question?
No, we do not have any question, but we would appreciate it if you could share your contact with us. Maybe you could mention your Gmail. I'll type it. Yes, your contact, so that participants can reach out to you.
Should I read my, it is better I wanted to read my WhatsApp. I hope someone has some.
Or email.
Or email. Let me start with the contact. The contact is 256 plus 256. That's the Ugandan code. Plus 256 759 256 759 79 again 79, then it ends with 70. Plus 256 759 79 again 79, and it ends with 70. That's my WhatsApp. And my email is Julius Wow. Julius, you write Julius Julius WOW 256 Julius WOW 256 at gmail.com. That is my personal email. You can reach out to me anytime, and I will be glad to chat with you.
All right, thank you very much, Julius. And for those of you who didn't get that, I have typed it in the chat, so kindly go there. You will see his WhatsApp number and his Gmail as well. Thank you very much, Julius, for this wonderful and insightful session. We would always remember Julius from Uganda, who taught us psychology behind digital marketing. So, all right, guys, so all too soon, the Africa Digital Skills Conference has come to an end. It's been an insightful 3 days learning relevant digital skills that will go a long way to help us. We hope that these sessions have been very useful to you, and you will continue to implement them in your daily activities. Kindly take note that this conference is brought to you by Mobile Web Ghana and its partners. And so we would want to take advantage of this opportunity to ask you to follow us on our social media platforms. The information is in the chat below. Click on it. You'll see the links to our social media platforms across all platforms, Mobile Web Ghana. Follow us for more events, more insightful events such as this, and stay up to date with our upcoming events. You wouldn't want to miss that. Thank you very much for joining us, and bye. See you next year.